I just want to be clear. There's probably nothing to worry about in Ohio. Probably nothing crazy. But just in case, the government's got it covered. They're going door to door, doing some health studies. I don't think they're worried. This comes from CNN. As you'll see, CNN is very braggadocious. Federal teams are going door to door to check in with residents of East Palestine, Ohio, and conducting health surveys as part of the federal government's response to the toxic train derailment that has fueled anxiety about the safety of the air and the water in the town.
Dave, can I pause for a moment?
Of course.
Did anybody in the community ask for this to happen?
I don't believe so.
All right. Just making sure we're still a democracy.
But to be clear, it's okay. The commander-in-chief, the most elected commander-in-chief in the history.
Was he there? Was he there?
Well, no.
No, where'd he go?
He's got other things. Ukraine.
Super important.
The teams are providing informational flyers with federal and local resources and completing the surveys after President Joe Biden directed the move. So see, he's out there. He's got their back. The latest steps comes as frustrated locals in East Palestine complain about feeling sick and raise long-term health concerns after the Norfolk Southern train wreck earlier this month caused toxic chemicals to seep into the water, air, and soil.
You know, something I didn't think about till right now, how many people are just lying about feeling sick? Because I would. They're like, yeah, my back hurts. I got chronic headaches. I haven't been able to sleep. You know, I'm depressed.
Yeah, very well.
I lost my job because of it.
There are lawsuits that are starting, man.
They better before they die of fucking cancer.
No, they're fine.
Lawyer up, people. It's
just a few extra chemicals in the water.
Guys,
they're fine.
You already consume 10,000 chemicals per day that you're not supposed to. What's an extra couple thousand?
Yeah. To be fair, those trains, they were just bringing the chemicals to the planes so they could spray them in the air. So it's not a big deal.
or on the Bill Gates farm.
I hope World Health Organization isn't listening to this one because that's probably not approved by the World Health Organization.
Yeah, they're transporting it to their cricket farms, David.
The 2-page flyer obtained first by CNN includes emergency resources for residents as well as details on how to schedule a free health assessment or arrange testing for a private well or drinking water. A friend of ours and a watcher of the show did do a personal private test on his water supply, did he not?
Mm-hmm. High fluoride.
Well, it's weird because doesn't the county specifically say that they don't have fluoride in the water?
Yeah, they got busted for not putting it in there like a month ago, and now there's high levels of fluoride. I wonder if they just cracked a valve somewhere. Or does the fluoride kill the shit in the water so you can't trace it for the chemicals that were released in the Ohio train rail, so you can't go after that company for that because they, it's basically a monopoly on the water supply, the Great Lakes region, the railroads. Like, it's all like the government or a few monopolies. It's a couple phone calls away for those companies to communicate.
Yeah. I don't think fluoride does that though.
Okay. It just helps my teeth.
Yeah, just helps your teeth. The flyers are being handed out by members of the EPA, Federal Emergency Management Agency, and the Centers for Disease Control. How many federal agencies does it take to hand out flyers? Here's an idea. Why don't we mail them to them, right?
I wonder if they confiscated anybody's firearms during this.
We trusted the USPS with our ballots. Surely they can hand out some flyers, Ryan. Do we need 3 federal agencies going door to door?
Well, I wonder which one of them has the nuclear waste fallout gear funding.
Perhaps, Ryan, when they go to door to door, they're not just handing flyers out. Just saying. Because, we could distribute flyers. Just put them in the mail.
I wonder if part of that health evaluation is if you own any firearms or feel depressed.
Oh, they wouldn't go door to door and ask about firearms, Ryan. Surely that's never happened.
Yeah, they'll just wait till you're there with your kid in the pediatrician's office.
Biden on Friday directed agencies to go door to door and check in with residents after he received an update on the federal government's response to the derailment from senior officials, including Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, Health and Human Services Secretary Xavier Becerra, and the heads of the EPA and FEMA, according to the official. The president currently has no plans to visit Ohio, and on Friday defended his administration's response to the crisis, which has drawn criticism from Republicans including the mayor of the town, who told Fox that Biden went to Ukraine instead of Ohio. So he was a little cross with him for that.
Well, maybe just Ukraine's closer than Ohio. I'm not a history teacher or a geography expert.
They probably told him he was going to Palestine, and he said, no thanks.
Well, the Earth's flat, David, so it's a far simpler travel to Ukraine, obviously. Obnoxiousness aside, it is a fucking disgrace that the president didn't go to a place that it looked like a nuclear disaster went off in the great, like it's despicable. The area is called the Rust Belt, which basically means that after all these businesses like GM and Ford, and after everything went international with the NAFTA and all these trade deals that the Clintons passed and that era of politics passed, and Reaganomics to some effect, as some people say, they moved all overseas and all these things and gutted these areas, and all the population left, all the wealth left, all this things, depression, all these things left. They're called Rust Belt because there's nothing left and nobody moves here. And then how are we supposed to feel when this shit, like, what if this was Buffalo? You think they would they care if this happened in Niagara Falls? No. Like it's disgraceful.
You say it's disgraceful, but the news is getting ahead on this, and I'm not going to get into the article, but it's just like we should just see it real quick. The headline.
This guy's the president of the United States. That's presidential material.
Look at this twist. In East Palestine, who shows up isn't necessarily a sign of who's helping.
It's fucking unreal. American flag, Donald Trump, that to me looks like somebody who's trying to unite people when they're going through tragedy. Patrick Bet-David actually had a thing about how the person that you probably think is perfect for the job of president, you probably wouldn't like his personality.
It's probably true. It's probably true because he'd probably be a bit of a CEO-minded person, and he'd probably
not a pushover. He wouldn't care. He would
be a bit of a dick, Ryan. To be honest,
yeah. He would seem like a toxic masculinist, like this guy that just is like a bully, pushes people around. No, he's a shark. You would call him like all these aggressive things, But then here's this guy going, and then what am I going to hear? This is just a presidential stint. This is just for his campaign season.
Yep, that's what they're saying.
Do you remember, like, after Charleston? Remember when he went down there and they said he wasn't helping and stuff, and it wasn't good enough? Or when he walked with his hand out and did that photo shoot outside the church that was attacked during the BLM riots that summer of 19 and 20? And they said it was for a photo op?
A photo op. And to be fair,
Biden going to Ukraine is diplomacy.
People do it on the right, too. I mean, Pete Buttigieg went there and everybody was all over him. Oh, look at
that
him.
Guy. I'm sorry, Dave. I just get pissed off. This guy flew here, asked for all this money. This makes me. I just like it. Shit, I don't even necessarily believe all this, but this makes me a socialist. You give all of our fucking money away and cause World War III, and I have to watch a train car blow up 5 hours from my house that is raining soot on all of everything.
But it's not controlled burn. Right?
That's not controlled because you don't know how much it's not a controlled burn. Nothing was controlled about that. You fucking lied through the whole thing. You've always lied. I hear big oil and all these things all the time from these very people that are now working with the corporations to fix it. It's bullshit. This turns me a socialist. What? Give everybody everything. Give us all health care. Give us $500 a week. I don't care anymore. You're giving all my money away to Ukraine. And starting war for what? For what? We watch Afghan people fall out of fucking airplanes. We're watching train derailments. This is crazy. Is it just because we have access to more information? I lived through the war on terror, Dave. We lived through the war. It was every day they talked about it. Yeah. This is not the new. We were always privy to this since Vietnam, right? With all those photographs. This isn't new. Maybe we're desensitized, but we're seeing fucking train cars blow up. There's articles, people are getting bronchitis. I doubt it's just bronchitis.
No, it's just some simple.
Big Pharma, what? You went to a doctor? Remember Big Pharma, David? How they own Big Pharma owns all the politicians, but the fucking Big Pharma is working with big oil and big government to say that the people in the area that blew up a train car are just having bronchitis. And then the solution's more government. This is like, I don't even, once again, you guys have just given all of our money away and everything's fucked. These people are, everything's ruined. That whole community is ruined. Do you think somebody's going to build a business there? You think McDonald's is going to invest money there? Chick-fil-A, Burger King, they're not even going to get fast food. Dollar General.
Well, to be fair, Dollar General will set up just about anywhere.
Yeah, because they're owned by the Saudi Arabians, David. And sell Chinese goods. Yeah,
that's right.
This is crazy. And you know who's to blame? It's Joe Biden. And then I'm gonna hear about this during the 2020 to the next election cycle. Who was there the day? This is gonna be a ploy at your hearts. I'm gonna hear about it. Do you remember East Palestine, Ohio? Yeah, and then we'll forget, just like 9/11, right? Never forget. Dave Ryan, December 17th, 73. Catch us Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, YouTube, Rumble, and Facebook. I will be there. David will be there. As always, David, thank you for your time. And, see everybody later.
Yeah. Tomorrow, not World War III.
Not World War III.
Yeah, right.